W4NNG. Whiskey 4 Nancy Nancy George. W4NNG listening this morning. Anybody around?
CQ calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This is WA4LLR, David, Burnsville, North Carolina. Calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly on this frequency. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. The net is conducted in the amplitude modulation mode, carried out in the roundtable format. Stations wishing to check in, give WA4LLR a call and come now.
N4LQ.
K4GDN.
WB4ARK.
November 4, Oscar, Zulu, India.
K4JAL.
WA4EVK.
Perfectly clear audio.
Let me tell you who I have so far. I have N4LQ, K4GDN, WB4ARK, N4OZI, K4JAL, WA4EVK. Who did I miss? Okay, let me run down the list one more time. N4LQ, K4GDN, WB4ARK, N4OZI, K4JAL, WA4EVK. Any other station? You're not hearing any. Good morning to everybody. We've got 42 degrees, cloudy and very windy. Very windy up here in the eastern part of Yancey County. In fact, the winds were about 50 miles an hour. And they got my 80-meter dipole, my 40-meter inverted V, and played havoc with the hex beam as well. The only antenna standing this morning, or still functioning this morning, was the 160 end-fed half wave, which is what I'm using, and it's not as good on 75 as the dipole. So I apologize for a weaker signal today. Anyway, we'll see what we can do, and with the conditions that prevail. So we'll go ahead and start it around. Steve, down to you, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
And WA4LLR, it's N4LQ. Okay, well, you seem, fairly good this morning, Dave. No problem copying at all. Some reason we got a sideband net that's decided to start up at the same time we do, down a couple of KCs from us. So I'm using the HQ110 to receive. I've got the Q multiplier doing all it can to take care of that, and I'm running the AF68 and driving the 572Bs. I was trying to figure out what I'm running here. I think it was pretty close to 200 watts carrier. So then, over to George at the beach, K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ and the groups, K4GDN. And here at the beach, it's in the mid-50s, it's cloudy. I think it's going to get cold on tonight for some reason. I'm hearing you fine, Dave, and I've copied pretty much everybody else, and the sideband along with it. We're running the BMW 5100B this morning, receiving on NC300. And I say everybody's coming in fairly well this morning, including the sideband. So with that, I'll pass it on to you, buddy. WB4ARK and the group K4GDN.
K4GD and WB4ARK. Okay, George. Well, got a good copy on everybody this morning. You're just a little bit light, Dave. Not too bad. Still copy you just fine. And we're using the R390, and I'm not copying any of the sideband stations, so not sure exactly what my selectivity is on. I didn't get up to take a look at it. It's on the back side of my transmitter here, and I can't see it from this position. So that's one thing I like about the ARR15. I can see everything on the front, although it does not have any selectivity adjustments on it. So there you go. It's clear here, and it's breezy. I would not say it's very windy at this point. We've had a few little gusts, but nothing significant. But the wind is pretty steady. It didn't have any rain overnight, although the weather station's calling for it. It does that periodically, and we don't get any. So with that, we'll turn it over to W4OZI, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, WB4ARK. WB4ARK is N4OZI. Well, we're not doing too bad here. 46 degrees and cloudy. Winds out of the west at 14 miles an hour, and that's pretty much what I expected. Got a little bit of a rain last night, surprisingly, and it was supposed to get down this time tomorrow or earlier. In the morning tomorrow would be around 22 degrees. So this must be a big cold front coming, which would explain the wind gust that you guys are getting up there. And Dave, sorry about your antenna going down. I know how that is. I had a big limb take down my 80 meter a few months back, and a massive limb. I still hadn't quite figured out where it came from, but it took it down. And the 160, it was a big one, but got everything back up and running pretty quickly, and so that worked out fine. But I still have to get out there and cut that limb. It's always baffling to me as to where that thing. I looked up in the trees. I can't figure out where it came from, but anyway, it's no big deal. We're expecting some cold temperatures, so just when you thought it was starting to warm up again, it's going to dip back down. So it's been pretty cold and windy around here. Kind of hard to get out and do anything outside. Let me turn it over to Jimmy, K4JAL. Jimmy, go ahead and take it. This is N4OZI.
N4OZI, K4JAL. Well, good morning, everybody. Sorry about the wind damage up there, Dave. Sounds like it took them all but one, but you're still getting out good. I don't know what I'll do today. Probably nothing. It's going to rain, I think, and then get cold again. But it is winter time. I'm on the ART-13, of course. You can always tell when somebody's on one. Thanks, buddy. You're sounding good, too. I guess I'll give it over to Boone, WA4EVK, K4JAL.
K4JAL in the group, WA4EVK. Good morning, everyone. I'm having the same problems here that a couple of you are. I've got one antenna down, the one I normally use for this net. So if my signal's light or anything, that's what's going on. It shouldn't be, but you never know. I don't know why the limb decided to do it, but I had my 160 in-fed, which is what I use for the net. It had been up about 4 years, no problems. The one I'm on had got a couple of problems. I was getting ready to take it down and clean everything up and so forth, and about a 4-inch limb came out of the top of one of the trees and took out the 160, so here we are. That's about it for me this morning. Winds about 10 miles an hour, going gusting to 15, so not too bad down here. With that, I'm going to send it back to Dave. W4LLR, WA4EVK.
Okay, Boone, fine, Brendan. It's good copy up here, no problem. All right, let me take a quick standby. Do we have any other stations for the old Fresnet? Come now. Okay, I figured Charlie would be in here this morning, but the wind may have got to him too. I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, it's we've had some really stout gusts. It woke me up several times during the night, shaking the house and rattling the tin on the roof. So it's been a windy time for sure. What's funny is those antennas stayed up through the hurricane. Maybe it weakened them or something, I don't know. And then the last two little windstorms we had, had antenna damage during both those. So very, very strange. But oh well, that's part of it. Anyway, yeah, this antenna doesn't hear quite as good on 80 meters as the 80 meter dipole does. And George is very light on me this morning, and he's here lately with the dipole. He's been doing really good. So I don't know if it's the antenna or a change in band conditions, but I've noticed this 160 doesn't do quite as good receiving and transmitting on 80. Anyway, let's see here what all's going on in the world today. Yeah, I was looking at the forecast for us. They're saying windy and a high 44 today and a low of 13 tonight. So yeah, I think we got a pretty good front coming through. Tomorrow's high is 33, the low of 18, and then it warms back up. And we've got some rain Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the forecast, looks like. But like somebody said, yep, it's it's December, so what can you say? Our space weather conditions are pretty calm. Sunspot count's 105. Solar flux index is 175, and the K is 1.33. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1945, a squadron of torpedo bombers left Fort Lauderdale, flew into the Bermuda Triangle, and disappeared. And there's been a lot of conspiracy theories that came out of that incident. On this day in 1933, the 21st Amendment was ratified and Prohibition ended. Another mystery, on this day in 1872, the Mary Celeste ship was found abandoned off the coast of Portugal. All 10 sailors aboard had disappeared. And the Celeste was just sailing around on her own. On this day in 1952, toxic smog killed thousands in England. And that's pretty much for this day in history. So let's go back around N4LQ and hope to see you down there at the at the chicken liver buffet before long. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Well, if you ever played Pac-Man, you know what this chicken liver eater looks like. You know, chomp, chomp, chomp. Anyway, I'm going to have to look up that smog in England. 1952 killed thousands. That must have been some smog. I wonder what caused it. Of course, they had cars back then, but it must have been something else that had caused that. Well, looking forward to the lunch. Yeah, I'm packing up here, getting ready to go pretty soon, and the gang will be here at 10 o'clock. Brian and John and Gary. So we plan to be there and participate. And too bad about the antennas last night. Well, well, we had a little breeze here last night. It's supposed to have hit like 15, 20 miles an hour, but I didn't notice it. So I don't know if it actually did that or not. And then we're supposed to get some more wind just shortly, maybe an hour from now, about 20 miles an hour. It looks like Friday's going to be the cold day. 43 for a high, 18 at night. That's the cold one. And then start the warm-up process and get ready to rain next week, starting on Monday. And it looks like we're going to get an inch or so of more rain, and that's not a bad thing at all. So with that, I guess I will go another round. Hang in here and turn it over to George. And you're sounding good. Oh, let me try something. I want to try this other antenna. I'm on the loop right now, and I got the end-fed here. Let me switch. All right, there's the end-fed, and yeah, SWR is not too high. And take a look at your S meter and see what you see on this end-fed. I still haven't got it up where I want it quite yet. And then let me switch back. All right, now I'm on the loop again, and SWR is low on both of them, so that's good. So over to you, George. K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ and the group is K4GDN. Well, I'd say the loop did a little bit better job. You got about 5 or 6 dBs better over S9 than with the infed, and the QSB seems to affect the infed a little bit more. And Dave, I'm picking you up okay. You're a little bit weaker than normal, and I'd say it's probably a combination of the antenna and maybe the direction is pointing. We had our wind down here yesterday and the day before. The leaves were all over the place. I'm gonna have to do some more leaf blowing, and we still have a few leaves on the trees anyway. Kind of late things getting done down here at the beach, but that's typical for the area. Other than that, things are about normal. We are expecting a cold night tonight, and then it looks like it's going to be doing some raining next week, but that seems to be the way it works down here. Anyway, sorry I'm going to miss the lunch today. It sounds like it's going to be an interesting one with Charlie was talking about some stuff he might want to bring. But anyway, with that, we'll turn it on to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group, K4GDN.
K4GDN, WB4ARK. All right, George, everybody's signal is still holding strong. And sorry, Alan, I keep messing up your call. I put it down on the list with a W, and I should have put an N on there, but I had it here on my scratch sheet as a W to start with. I changed it to an N, but I didn't make it real clear, so maybe I can get that straight. Sorry, I hate that. I don't like it when people mess up my call, and I know that's not it's not good. So anyhow, well, Dave, I'm surprised you don't have a way to lower your antenna during heavy wind. I've got a parachute cord holding mine up, and unfortunately, the main antenna right now is a horizontal dipole, runs almost north and south, and in the tree way in the back at the end of the antenna, it's stuck on it's fused itself on a limb, and so I can't drop it. So I got the cord loose, and it can fall if it breaks loose. So I'll say that for it. I've done everything I can do, but it's still hanging up there. So we'll see what happens today. It hasn't come down before in our windstorms, so I doubt if it's going to come down today. So we'll see. If it drops 5 feet, then that's good, but I don't think it's going to happen. Well, I hope everybody has a great luncheon today. Sorry I can't make it. And Jimmy, your ART-13 sounds fantastic, if I say so myself. I guess that's probably about the end of the era of refurbishing ART-13s for me, and I hope everybody has a great time with them. They're a fantastic transmitter, and they last seemingly forever. I did have one tube go out in mine some years ago. I think it was the modulator tube. Filament opened up, but that's all I've ever had go wrong with it. So with that, we'll send it on down to N4OZI, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK, this is N4OZI, no problem on the call. At this hour in the morning, I mess them up quite a bit. I attribute it to not enough coffee, and I can really butcher a call. So I completely understand. Let's see, I was going to say to Dave and to Boone, you guys say you're on different antennas. Both of you guys are sounding really good over here, so they're different antennas. They're doing a fine job over here. I have another antenna I could use on 80, but it just does not perform very well. I have it as a backup, but it's just I've tried various things. Nothing seems to make it work better. So, but it will work in a pinch, which I've had to use from time to time. But you guys, your backup antennas are working fine. Sorry I can't make it to lunch. That's a bit of a drive for me, but sounds like you guys will have a great time. And Steve, I was going to say, down here, the loop antenna sounded a little bit better. Just looking at the spectrum, it was very close, but I'd have to give a slight edge to the loop antenna. So that's what I'm observing here. Anyway, that's all I really got. I'm going to go ahead and say 73. I got to get started on some stuff around here. I've been, like I told you before, I had a cold, pretty bad cold. My wife got it, and then I got it. Boy, it really slammed me to the pavement. I was really trying to get over that, and Monday I was completely out of it. So I'm going to try to see if I can get caught up on everything I should have done this week. So with that, I'll say 73s and send it over to you, Jimmy. K4JAL. This is N4OZI.
N4OZI, K4JAL. Well, 73, Al. Hope you have a good day. Your loop, it sounds marginally better than the end-fed, Steve, to me. A few points better. That coal-fired 52 killer smog in London was caused because everything in London ran on coal back then, and they had the famous London fog quite frequently. When I lived there in the early 80s, there was no fog. It wasn't as foggy as it is here in western North Carolina because they'd gone away from the coal economy. So there you go. Buddy, I really do appreciate this transmitter. It's my go-to guy now. I've got it over here where I live, so I can get on it in the morning. I hope somebody comes through with another one that needs refurbishing, because they are great machines. Thank you. WA4EVK, good morning, Boone. Over to you. I'll say 7-3, guys. I got to get out of here.
K4JL in the group, WA4EVK. Well, Steve, before I forget it, you picked up 5 dB. 5 dB. I'm using the SDR receiver this morning to fight some of the local noise, and S-meter is pretty accurate. That would be the SDR Play with the SDR Uno software. And I have it set to the calibrated S-meter. So 5 dB. The antenna is one of my experiments in NVIS. It's only about 30 feet from the ground, if that. So it's low on receive signal. But we're even copying George, so I think that's working out for me. Yeah, it looks like I've got the decent power out this morning, about 225 watts carrier. But I'm going to have to duck out of here and get ready to get on the road. It takes me about an hour and a half to get to Spartanburg from here, so I've got a few things to do before I bail out. So I'm going to say 73s, and I'll see you guys at the luncheon. W4LLR, WA4EVK.
Okay, Boone, fine business. WA4EVK, WA4LLR was 73 Allen, 73 Jim, 73 Boone. Let me take a quick standby. Do we have any late check-ins? Come now.
25 minutes doesn't count as late, does it? W4MAC.
Close enough. Good morning, Charlie. Go ahead and make one.
Yeah, WA4LLR in the group, what's left of the group, W4MAC. I'm just lollygagging around this morning, not in any hurry, because I looked at the clock. I thought it said 9 o'clock. I swear, just the way the bottom half of the 8 was lopped off for some reason. I said, man, I missed it again. But then I looked again and said, damn, it's 8:12. So I came running out here anyway. Sorry about that. I'm glad I wasn't having to run the net today. So WA4LLR, W4BC.
All righty, well, better late than never. Okay, anyone else that would like to join, come now. Okay, well, let's see here. Steve, I don't have an estimator, of course, on this BC342N, but you are louder on the loop. I can tell that easily. Sounded like most people thought you were louder on the loop. And I copied you better that time, George. I think that was about 100%. Buddy, I do have a way to lower those antennas, but they had survived so many windstorms, I didn't even think about it. But I guess wear and tear finally was the straw that broke the camel's back. But anyway, you know, it's they need refurbishing anyhow. The 80 meter shouldn't be too hard to redo. I think it broke one leg. But I have a support parachute cord thing that holds it up, and if the wire breaks, it doesn't fall to the ground. It's still up there. I just have to lower the thing down and solder it back together and hoist it back up. Now the hex beam's a little different. I'm gonna have to let the tower down to get to it, but it's got to be done anyway. So hopefully about the first calm, semi-warm stretch we get, I can get my son up here and we can lower the tower down, repair the hex beam, and get it back in the air. But I've been on the upper band so infrequently that it's not a pressing issue. Oh, mercy. Anyhow, let's see. Thanks for the signal report, Alan. Sorry about the cold. Sound like you're about over it. And looking forward, hopefully, Lord willing, to seeing everybody there at the luncheon here in a bit. If you're still listening, Boone, it takes us about 2 hours to drive down there. I think you said yours was an hour and a half. Okay, well, let's go back around again, and buddy, you'll send it to Charlie. So N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LR, N4LQ. All right, well, appreciate the reports. Boone, I'm not sure. He said I got 5 dB, but he didn't say which antenna. So, well, I assume it's the loop since everybody else said the same thing, and it's pretty consistent. I guess the reason is the infed is mounted on the fence post out here, and it's not near as high, and of course I got a ground wire going to one side of it, so half the signal goes to the ground. How's that for logic? All right, well, go ahead and get ready for the trip here, and we'll see some of you guys in a couple hours, and we'll say 73s. So, back over to George, if you're still there, K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ is group, K4GDN, yep, still here. On all of my horizontal antennas, wire antennas that I've got tied to trees, I have a parachute cord over a pulley coming down to about a 5 or 6 pound weight, something like that. And that accounts for them surviving. I've never had one come down from a windstorm yet. I did have one case one time I had a limb on one, or a major part of a tree, but the pulley wouldn't help that. Anyway, that's about it from down here. And again, I think the loop sounded a little bit better. Looked about, maybe about 5 or 6 dB better on the NC300. Anyhow, with that, I'm going to say 73, but I'm going to listen to the end. So, buddy, coming to you. WB4ARK, K4GDN.
K4GDN, WB4ARK. Okay, George. Well, Steve, the two antennas were almost identical. I couldn't, hearing him, the signal, I could not tell any difference. They were both identical. I did not get up to see what the meter reading was, but it wasn't anything to make note of, I don't think. So with that, we will say 73, and hope everybody has a great day. Look forward to maybe Sunday. W4MEC, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, WB4ARK, W4MEC. All right, well, it's 47 here, clear. Interesting, last night when I went to bed it was 48. The night before it was 20. So warmed up a bit, didn't it now? So anyway, we're going to give old Carl a call and see if he's got a carpool down to the lunch with me, and we'll be heading that away in a little bit too. So thanks for letting me in here at the last minute, Dave, and I'll do better next time, teacher. I have to. I'm running the net on Sunday. WA473, WA4LLR, W4MEC. Bye-bye.
Okay, Charlie, yeah. Talk about a temperature differential. Yesterday morning when I got up, it was 11. This morning when I got up, it was 43. Yeah, that's a big change. Well, gentlemen, thanks for checking in. Hope to see several of you down in the Spartanburg here after a bit. 7-3, God bless, and Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Sunday. This is WA4LLR closing this session of the Old Friends Net. 7-3.